Hello and welcome to Bite Size History, History of the United Kingdom, brought to you by AI Cast. I'm your host Aidan. In this episode, we're going to explore the Late Iron Age and the rise of the Oppida. This period, which lasted from around 100 BC to the Roman conquest in 43 AD, saw the emergence of larger and more complex settlements, known as Oppida, across Britain. We will delve into the factors that contributed to their development, the nature of life within these settlements, and the role they played in Late Iron Age society. So, without further ado, let's dive into the fascinating world of Late Iron Age Britain. The Late Iron Age in Britain saw significant changes in political, social, and economic structures, many of which played a key role in the rise of the Oppida. As populations grew and tribal territories became more clearly defined, there was a need for centralized hubs of political, economic, and religious activity. The Oppida emerged as the primary centers of these activities, reflecting the increasing complexity and interconnectedness of Late Iron Age society. Trade also played a significant role in the rise of the Oppida. As contacts with the Mediterranean world and other parts of Europe increased, so too did the demand for imported goods and access to valuable trade routes. The Oppida, often situated at strategically important locations such as river crossings, coastal harbors, or high ground with good visibility, served as key centers of trade and exchange, both within Britain and beyond. Another factor contributing to the development of the Oppida was the increasing sophistication of Iron Age technology and craftsmanship. This period saw the introduction of more advanced metalworking techniques, the widespread use of the potter's wheel, and the production of more elaborate and intricate forms of art and material culture. These technological advances necessitated larger and more specialized workshops, which could be accommodated within the Oppida. Finally, the rise of the Oppida can also be linked to the growing importance of warfare and the need for defensive structures. As political power became increasingly centralized in the hands of tribal leaders and chieftains, competition for resources, territory, and influence likely intensified, necessitating the construction of more substantial and well-defended settlements. Oppida varied greatly in size, layout, and function, but there were several common features that characterized these Late Iron Age settlements. One of the most notable aspects of the Oppida was their size. Many of these settlements covered areas of several square kilometers, making them significantly larger than the smaller, more dispersed settlements of the early and Middle Iron Age. The layout of the Oppida was also distinct from earlier settlements. While earlier Iron Age settlements were typically characterized by clusters of roundhouses, often surrounded by a simple enclosure, the Oppida displayed a more regular and planned layout. These settlements were often enclosed by substantial earthworks, including banks, ditches, and palisades, which served both defensive and symbolic purposes. The internal layout of the Oppida was more organized and featured a range of specialized structures, such as workshops, storage buildings, and religious structures. Economically, the Oppida were centers of production, trade, and exchange. Within these settlements, skilled craftspeople produced a wide range of goods, including pottery, metalwork, textiles, and leather. Many of these goods were destined for both local consumption and export, reflecting the important role of the Oppida in regional and long-distance trade networks. Politically, the Oppida served as the power bases for tribal leaders and chieftains, who likely maintained residences within these settlements. The presence of impressive public buildings, such as assembly halls and monumental structures, also suggests that the Oppida played a central role in the administration and governance of Late Iron Age society. Religiously, the Oppida were important centers of spiritual and ritual activity. Many Oppida featured dedicated religious structures, such as temples and shrines, where rituals and ceremonies took place. The presence of richly decorated ceremonial objects, like the Battersea shield and the Waterloo helmet, further underscores the spiritual significance of these settlements. Life within the Oppida would have been markedly different from that in earlier Iron Age settlements. The larger population and more organized layout of the Oppida would have facilitated greater social interaction and cooperation, as well as specialization of labor. Craftspersons, traders, and laborers would have all worked together within the confines of these settlements, contributing to the economic and political success of the communities they served. The residents of the Oppida would have had access to a wider variety of goods and services than those living in smaller, more isolated settlements. Imported luxury items, such as wine and glassware from the Mediterranean, and jewelry and metalwork from Gaul and other parts of Europe, would have been more readily available within the Oppida, reflecting the growing interconnectedness of Late Iron Age Britain with the wider world. Despite the economic prosperity and relative security of life within the Oppida, it is likely that social inequalities also increased during this period. The presence of larger and more elaborate residences, often situated in prime locations within the settlements, suggests that some individuals and families held significantly more wealth and power than others. The division of labor and access to resources would have further contributed to the emergence of social hierarchies within the Oppida. The Oppida played a crucial role in the political, economic, and religious life of late Iron Age society. As centers of trade and production, the Oppida helped to stimulate economic growth and facilitate long-distance exchange, which in turn contributed to the increasing interconnectedness of Britain with the wider world. Politically, the Oppida were the power bases of tribal leaders and chieftains, who would have used these settlements to exert their authority over the surrounding territories. The Oppida were also important gathering places for tribal assemblies and other political meetings, providing a focal point for the negotiation of alliances, the resolution of disputes, and the organization of military campaigns. Religiously, the Oppida served as important spiritual and ritual centers, where individuals could participate in ceremonies and make offerings to the gods. The presence of specialized religious structures and artifacts within the Oppida underscores their significance as hubs of religious activity in late Iron Age Britain. The late Iron Age and the rise of the Oppida represent a fascinating and dynamic period in the history of the UK. The emergence of these large, well-defended settlements marked a significant departure from earlier settlement patterns, reflecting the increasing complexity and interconnectedness of late Iron Age society. The Oppida played a central role in the political, economic, and religious life of this period, serving as the primary centers of trade, production, and spiritual activity. By examining the factors that contributed to their development, as well as the nature of life within these settlements, we can gain valuable insights into the lives and experiences of the people who inhabited late Iron Age Britain. Thank you for listening. If you liked the show, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time on Bite Size History.